The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
I'm a Raider fan because of my dad and Marcus Allen.
I'm a Raiders fan. Born in Oakland, I will always be loyal to the silver and black.
I'm a Raider because I came back to the Bay from LA with my team.
I'm an Oakland Raider fan because of my grandmother. Town business.
I'm a Raider fan. My grandmother raised me as a Raider fan. Tailgate, and people give you a beer. I mean, for real, like, because you're a Raider. You're a Raider. And we got you. So it's just
That's how this is how it is. This is how it is.
I just remember, to me, what hooked me more than anything in the world was walking in and everyone just Raiders! And that was it. Oh my God! What went through my body there?
Yep.
Woo! What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to For Life, our Raider story. This is our take, and I'm your host, Spicy Raider Girl. I'm here with Mother Moon behind the scenes. What's up? How are you tonight, Mother Moon?
I'm doing really good. It's good to see everybody in the chat. I hope everyone's well.
Yes, that intro was from our YouTube series, For Life, our Raider story. Seasons 1 through 4 are out now, and we will begin filming season 5 very soon, so look out for that. And if you haven't already, go back and catch up on our first 4 seasons. I actually watched them again the other night. I think my favorite's 1 and 4. So if you don't have time for all 4, go to 1 and skip to 4. But yeah, they're very enjoyable, entertaining. There you go. Well, if we do say so ourselves, right? What is up to everybody in the chat line? Thor, Jason Dean Hunter, how you doing? Johnny Jimenez. Who else? We have
Veronica. We have Christina C joining us tonight.
What is up, everyone?
Ladies, come on in.
Omar, the whole crew's in here. Veronica, what's up, girl? If you missed the black hole episode, make sure you circle back and check that out. That was more fun than I can remember having in a long time. It reminded me of really being like part of the Oakland Raider Nation again. All right, so we have some cool shows coming up for you this weekend. Before we get to that, let me just announce normally our show's on Tuesday night, obviously, Tuesday nights, but we did a special tonight just because I missed all of you. No, I'm kidding. Kind of. No, I'm just kidding. There was a lot going on today in football. But on a Tuesday night, make sure you check us out at 5:30 over here on YouTube, of course. But right after that, make sure you hop over to check out the Black Hole Unleashed podcast. They're live every Tuesday, immediately following our show at 6:30 to 7:30 with J Long and MP, and they are live on Facebook. So we have your Tuesday night lineup for you. For Life, Our Raider story, our take first here on YouTube, 5:30. Hop over to the Black Hole Unleashed at 6:30 on Facebook.
Full night.
I know, isn't it? It's a good night. Lots of Raiders content coming at you. And we have some very special shows coming up this weekend. So on Saturday, we have a special with Jax Cervantes. She set it up. It's at 11 a.m. Pacific time right here on our YouTube channel. She's working with the Tui Asasopo family to raise awareness for opioid addiction. The Tui Asasopo family has had to deal with this personally as tragedy has struck their family. Peter, also known as Navy Tui Asasopo, will be on the show Saturday with myself to raise awareness as he has lost his daughter, Nisili, to this epidemic. and to promote a benefit that himself and Jax are hosting on May 15th at 3 p.m. at Tommy Rockers in Las Vegas. So you might know Peter Navy Tuiasosopo from the big screen. He's appeared in Necessary Roughness, Scorpion King, Street Fighter, Mayans MC, and currently has a reoccurring role on Magnum PI. So the name might sound familiar to you, Raider Nation. The Tuiasosopo family is very special to the Raider Nation, as Nasili's cousin, Marcus Tuiasosopo, is a former Oakland Raiders quarterback. And you know what we say, once a Raider, always a Raider. So we'll be very happy to have him on the show. There will be special guests at the event on May as well, but I'll let them speak on that. So again, that's on this Saturday at 11 a.m. So tune into that. And also, we have a fun show for you on Sunday, the 4 Live special from home with virtual guests starting at 10 a.m. We have so many people already accidentally lined up. But if you want to join that, reach out to us. Let us know that you want to be part of it. It's going to be chill. It's going to be a chill session. It's just going to be us talking Raiders football, hanging out from wherever we'll be, basically.
Yeah, in the backyard, maybe by the pool. I don't know. Just gonna hang in and join in.
Hang in, join in. There you go. Woo. Okay, that was a mouthful, but I'm so, like I said, there's a lot going on here tonight. So, without further ado, let me bring in my very special guest co-host. Hey, Nevada Nick, what's up? How are you tonight?
What's up, Angela? Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well. Thank you. Thank you.
Nevada Nick.
How you doing, Mother Moon?
Doing well.
So like I said, there's so many hot headlines to discuss tonight. I think you want to start with, I think is the most shocking of the day. And that is that, I don't know if it's certain. I don't know if it's for certain, but the Raiders are releasing Gabe Jackson. I mean, what do we make of this?
I mean, I was a little surprised about it from it, because he's been one of the consistent linemen on the team, obviously. Now you had mentioned, we were texting earlier, they do save $9.6 million against the cap. So look, if they're gonna spend that on another guard, or there's a player out there that that they're targeting, I get it, but I don't like, the offensive line for the Raiders has been one of the consistent things they actually have over the last few years. Yeah. And I don't like breaking it up. Now Gabe Jackson's gone. There's some uncertainty around other players on the offensive line. Denzel Good's a free agent. And, the offense was the one thing the Raiders could count on. And if you start seeing linemen moving around and going, trust me, that's not going to be good for Derek Carr. Because, as I said with the Super Bowl with Mahomes, every quarterback's kryptonite is pressure and not being protected. And I don't think Derek Carr wants to, go with that scenario. And I didn't bring up Aguilar either. So those are some big pieces on that offense that there's some questions around. And if I was a Raiders fan, I would be concerned. I mean, we don't know what the plan is yet in regards to free agency and the draft. But I think draft-wise, we all know we're hoping they're going to take defense. Or look at me, I'm even saying we're now too. Like I'm but
yeah, right. There you go.
I think a lot of Raiders fans are hoping in the first few rounds. Obviously, they're going to focus on defense. So I think a lot of people were kind of hoping offensively it was mainly going to be let's bring it back, offensively and work on the defense.
Yeah, I would say that's my biggest concern. My mindset when you talk about who will the Raiders draft, how will they become better, that's the one solid thing that I really thought the Raiders had. And so to start to dismantle that, you're thinking, okay, what now? I'm thinking, what now? Like, do you then you're starting to rebuild the offensive line when I thought that was already pretty much set, when they need to focus on the defensive line. So it kind of leads me to think they must have a plan, right? They must have a plan, because if Trent Brown is also uncertain at this time, then that leaves the entire right side of the offensive line in question. Like, that should be concerning to every Raiders fan, I think. So with that said, there's no other explanation, is that they must have a plan. I hope so.
I would hope, but see, that's the thing too. You can't count on somebody to sign. You could be interested in a free agent, but that doesn't mean they're going to sign with you. So I would hope they know what they're doing. You know, I know a lot of these agents and team reps kind of talk beforehand. You know, they call it tampering, but it happens. But still, I mean, I would hope they have a backup plan. You know, because Gabe Jackson's a good lineman, and it's going to be a loss. So yeah, they better have something in the works. I would hope, especially like I said, with the uncertainty with the other linemen.
Look, you're already being recruited. We're going to have to jump you in soon. Omar says you're a Raiders fan. And then let's see. So Johnny Jimenez says, how about getting – oh, yeah. I mean, yay on that signing, right? Just what we needed, a long snapper to get us to the Super Bowl. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, that one was just thrown in there. And then Q says, I like Gabe, but he hasn't been as good the last couple years. Run blocking wasn't as good. Okay, I mean, maybe there was some decline in his efforts, but I still thought the offensive line was good, and I'm not sure the Raiders really can afford to go out and try to build both sides of the line here. Maybe I'm mistaken.
No, I agree. And they have been really good at pass protection. He might be right, run blocking wise, but you know, Carr really has been protected the last few years.
There you go. Jason Dean, he's offering you, Nevada Nick, a 2-year deal.
Sign me up.
Right?
That money, I'll do it.
So we'll see what happens. And it kind of transitioned to the Trent Brown talk. I mean, for a while, I was over him. He doesn't play very often. He's not in shape. It doesn't seem like he wants to be a Raider. I'm thinking he's got to go. So 2 things. I think with the Raiders releasing Gabe Jackson, they're really putting their money. They're thinking about putting their money into Trent Brown. And at this point, I think they have to do that now, even though I was thinking he should be traded because he didn't seem like he wanted to be here. But to lose both of those guys, I think that really, really hurts the offensive line.
100%. And then you got a lot of holes. I had said a week or 2 ago that I would keep Trent Brown. I know he hasn't played, and that's an issue. But you're talking about a guy who in 376 376 snaps, gave up 1 sack in 2019. And he's a road grader, too, for the offensive line. When he was with the Patriots and they won their last Super Bowl, he was one of the big reasons. And they were running the football a lot. He is a good offensive lineman. You know, Mayock today was non-committal on him. And I think a lot of it's going to be they're going to check his trade market and see what they can get. If they can get a first-round pick or something, I think they will trade him, maybe even a second round. But if you're going to get a third-round pick or lower, I'm not trading him because, you know, you're taking a flyer on some guy then when you have Trent Brown and he's still a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle or right tackle, excuse me. Yeah, I would.
Well, you mentioned Mayock, and he said about Trent Brown, he could, you know, neither confirm or deny what will happen to him, followed by him saying, I lost my train of thought a little bit. What was he saying? Oh yeah, he was talking about getting draft picks, but then he thinks he can do good with draft picks, but then he also, that's a contradiction because he said that he was unhappy with the performance of the Raiders rookies this year, but he was the main part of drafting them. So I listened to his press conference. He seemed either he was trying to be vague and was really bad at acting, or he just seemed confused to me.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is too, they know the past with Trent Brown. So I think they're doing a little bit of the wait and see approach too. Let's see what kind of shape he comes in the next month or 2. I think they want to see something out of him in regards to his physical conditioning. And, you know, I mean, look, this year he had some odd things happen during the season with the COVID tracker. And then, what was it, like a bad IV or something? Wasn't that what happened to him? He almost died or something?
I don't actually recall that, but I lost track of his excuses, to be honest.
Yeah, there were so many. But I think there was something, they put air in his IV or something, I heard, and he almost died. So there's a lot of weird things with him this year. I think they want to.
That's ringing a bell. I think we did talk about that.
Yeah, I think they're hoping for him, you know, to come in shape. And if they don't get in regards to working out what they want for him, maybe they move on for him. Maybe they release him. And look, too, if they release him, you know, after free agency starts, it's not good for him because you want to be with the full market with all the teams coming after you. To where
but how long do you give him that trial period, if you will? He's had an entire season trial period, so it's like, when do you cut that off already?
Yeah,
like Mayock said, he said if he gets into shape and if he works hard. I was like, okay, well, he had an entire year to get into shape and to work hard, but he didn't do it. So, I mean, and again, I'm not in the meeting rooms. I don't know what they're discussing, but what changes that? What changes the fact that he wants to get into shape and to work hard?
Right. No, and look, how are you going to know that until training camp too? Unless you're expecting him to, be in the facilities and kind of show it, and that's how they're going to do it. But other than seeing him at training camp, with no OTAs, when are you going to get a look at him? So you're going to wait and count on him at training camp, which, if he shows up out of shape again, you're going to have a lot of upset Raider fans.
He's got a conspiracy theory here. Q said Raider training staff tried to kill him with air in the IV. I haven't heard that headline, but so, and then another thing, we talked about is Incognito getting released. This is news to me. I thought they re-signed him. I thought he was on the team. I didn't realize he was still in question until you had kind of brought it to my attention.
Yeah, so he was he still has a contract for next year. But no, there was some rumors around him. And I think with him, it's just he's 38 years old. He's a little older. But to me, look, he's consistent. You can't count on him for 2-3 years, in the future. But in regards to next year, especially with Gabe Jackson just getting released, I'm bringing back Richie Incognito, no doubt about it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. And what's up to Silver and Black Empire? Thank you for being in here. I think you were not able to make it to our show this past week at Peter Dillon's, but we will get you next time, maybe this Sunday. We have a show this Sunday, so let us know. Let's see. Raider Squid says, doesn't Mayock and Chucky talk about drafting the right personnel? So we don't do that with the free agent signings. It's funny you say that, Squid. As I was watching it today, I literally said, why doesn't he talk to his boss? So yeah, we're kind of on the same wavelength there. But why don't we go into some good Raiders news here? So someone who isn't going anywhere, at least not anytime soon, Josh Jacobs has the third most missed tackles forced since 2019. So that's a great stat. 2,619 yards from scrimmage and 19 touchdowns. He seems like he's performing well, and that's great. I mean, you can always improve because number 3 is not number 1, but I'm nitpicking.
Well, you know what, Josh Jacobs, he was a Pro Bowler this year, and I don't want to say he had a down year, but I thought he was actually going to do even better. I mean, look, I'm not trying to talk down. I think he's a good running back, right? Really good running back, a good, young talent. But I think a part of it was, too, the offensive line. They had a lot of moving pieces this year with the Trent Brown situation. Good was kind of going from one side to the other side. So I think that plays into it, too. But Josh Jacobs is one of those cogs of the future for the Raiders, and I really believe in him, and I think that's going to be one of the things. If they want to win, it's going to be running the football and controlling the clock, and that's how John Gruden wins games. So he's going to be a big part of the Raiders' future.
And with a questionable offensive line to go with it. So, I mean, that's an interesting statement you just made, right? A big part of what the Raiders winning is going to be running the football, and now the right side of the Raiders line is in question.
Right.
So that's concerning.
Right. And that's why I'm a big proponent of bringing Trent Brown back, unless you're going to replace him with somebody. Unless there's somebody out there that they're going to sign, and they sign them and then release him. But until he's replaced, I'm not letting him go. He's 6'8", 360 pounds, and a road Raider on that line. He's too important to the team.
Let me ask you this. Is he worth keeping for the amount the Raiders are paying him to only play here and there like he did last season?
No, right. They need him to be a guy they can count on for 16 games. Like, look, if you miss a game or two, look, it's football. I get it. But no, they need him to be, for what they're paying him, they're counting on him to be the cornerstone of that offensive line. I mean, they paid him big-time money. They need him to step up and be more of, I don't know if he's ever going to be a leader, but be one of the guys on that offensive line. And that's one of the reasons I want to keep a Richie Incognito, because he's been around the league so long. I think he's good for the other offensive linemen. And, I know he's 38, but still, I think he's going to be important next season as well.
Yeah, well, we shall see. Like I said, I just hope the Raiders have a plan. It worries me that they might not. But yeah, again, just watching the press conference, it just, again, I know they can't tell us everything. I get that. I felt
Right.
like it was the delivery of the way he said it that kind of made me uneasy.
It's a lot of stuttering.
A lot of stuttering, yeah.
I was like,
Again,
Yeah.
maybe he's just bad at covering up, because he knows he can't say anything. I don't know.
Well, I think too, and that's part of it. They're so worried, especially the days we live in now, about saying the wrong thing. So you
Right.
kind of overthink to what's going to come out, and I think sometimes it just doesn't come out properly.
All right, that makes sense. So another kind of positive thing going on in the Raiders. I guess people will see this as positive. It's not exactly negative until you hear Spicy's girl's take on it. This Derek Carr will command engines to start the NASCAR Cup Pennzoil 400. That's at the Vegas Motor Speedway. That's cool. That's cool for him. He released some photos of himself yesterday next to like a red Ferrari and stuff. I don't know if that was like Alicia Ferrari. We're gonna call her. I don't know if that was like coincidental, if that was a marketing thing or what. But I guess this is kind of what I have to feel about Derek Carr, because, and again, maybe I missed it, maybe I don't know. But when he played in Oakland, I didn't see him doing a lot in the community. I felt like he always went back to Fresno, laid low there, did his thing there. And now that he's in Vegas, I feel like he's kind of more out there doing stuff like this. I don't know the reason behind it, and maybe I missed all the good things he did in Oakland, but I can't think of him being involved. So maybe it was the city's fault. Maybe it's the city's fault. Maybe they didn't try to get him involved. I don't know. But it's just, to me, it's a little sad to see how involved he is now. Not that that's a bad thing, but I wish he would have given that to our community.
Well, and I wonder too if that might have been partially ownership too. The relationship's bad with ownership. Look, you're gonna listen to the guy who's paying you $25 million a year. And if he tells you do this or do that, and obviously you're moving to a new city, you want to start a new relationship with that town. So I think that's probably part of it too, just the marketing aspect of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fair enough. So if you're in Vegas, I don't know. I think it might be this weekend. I'm not sure, but check that out. You might get a Derek Carr run-in. What is up, Chucky Stuggs in the house saying hi? Nice to see you in here. Sorry. Derek Carr's the Grand Marshal. My bad, Raider Travis. I didn't get the lingo right on that one.
What did you say he's going to start?
I said command engines.
Oh.
Isn't that what the Grand Marshal does, though? I thought they because there's the one person who drives like the pace car. Then there's somebody who says start your engines and waves the whatever flag that starts it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Like, gentlemen, start your engine thing, right?
It works for me.
I guess I got the verbiage wrong. Keep me in check, everybody. Keep me in check. All right. So let's get into, since it is the off season and the free agency really kind of starts to open up, and what is it, 2 weeks now?
2 weeks from today.
Let's get into some fantasy free agency, as I like to call it. I'll let you start, Nevada Nick. Where do you want to go with this one?
What do you want? Russell Wilson?
So many ways, right?
You can go.
Yeah. Raiders betting favorites to land Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. Would you take that bet, Nevada Nick? What's Nevada Nick's pick on this?
I don't look. If I was the Seahawks, and all you see is negative with them right now. Even today, another one. Just the Seahawks are very upset with Wilson. He's not happy. It's not good. If they decide to move on, I wouldn't trade him in the NFC. I would want to get him out of the conference, because if you look at the NFC right now, you really got two. Other than Wilson, you have two quarterbacks, Brady, and you got Rodgers. So you got two older quarterbacks. Once they're gone, you don't have a lot of really big name quarterbacks. They're all in the AFC. So I would want to trade them to the AFC, and one of the only teams in the AFC that supposedly was interested in them is the Raiders.
Right.
And I think the one thing the Raiders have too that other teams don't have is you got a good quarterback to give back. Teams are going to like getting Derek Carr. And if you put a first-round pick and a third-round pick, who knows if the relationship keeps deteriorating between Wilson and the Seahawks. I don't think it's going to happen. But you know what? When I go back to the Super Bowl, and everybody said, oh, it's just talk. All that's gone is downhill since then. So I wouldn't be shocked at anything. And look at the Watson situation.
Did you see before you go there? Did you see that clip of Wilson sitting next to
Goodell?
Goodell, yes, and
Yeah.
his wife Sierra was like talking to him or talking to Goodell, excuse me, and
Mhm.
Russell just sitting there like neither one of them exist.
Well,
I was like, that is a very telling image right there.
And look, his wife has big aspirations herself. A town like Vegas would be perfect for her. She can maybe get a residency in Vegas. And I think, too, he's going to want to go somewhere. I mean, there's a lot of talk with the Bears now, too. But if I was him, just because you got a good defense, I would want to go somewhere where it's going to help my talent, too. They don't have much on offense with Chicago. I really think the Raiders are one of the best opportunities for him that are out there. There's talk about the Cowboys, too, but I honestly think if I was Russell Wilson with the teams that were mentioned, I'd want to go Raiders or Dolphins. I mean, I really think they're the two best options for him.
There you go. And Raider Squid's going to be out there representing. He's going to be able to get really excited about Russ being a Raider. I think he lives kind of out in that area. So I appreciate your insight. But what was the Nevada Nick pick on the betting favorites?
Oh, I mean, I think he will be back in Seattle. I think the Raiders are going to stand pat. I really do. But look, I mean, you're in a good situation. To me, you're either going to have Derek Carr or you're going to get somebody who they believe's much better than him, and that would be Watson or Wilson. I don't think they make a move unless it's for one of those two guys.
All right, fair enough. Well, speaking of the Raiders quarterback on the ongo, you wanted to talk about JJ Watt a little bit, I think, before we.
Well, with JJ Watt, I think that was a good move by the Raiders. I really do. I think it was smart. I mean, look, he got 2 years, $31.5 million for not a ton of a production. He still can play, but he's not getting a lot of sacks anymore. He has been injured a lot over the last few years. I mean, there's plenty of younger, better options that they could probably get for better money out there. I mean, you got Jadeveon Clowney out there. The guy from the Ravens who was on the Jags, got traded to the Vikings, and then got traded to the Ravens, and Dockway. He's a good young. I think he's like 25 too. There's Melvin Ingram, who if you take him from the Chargers, you're removing him from your division too, playing opposite Bosa. So I would rather see them get one of those guys. And look, if they could get a defensive end like that, maybe you can look at the secondary with that first-round pick. So there's a lot of options out there, and I think it was smart to pass on J.J. Watt. All
right, fair enough. I kind of would have liked to see him a Raider, but like you said, not at the price tag he went for.
Yeah.
So I think that was a good pass on that as well. Did you want to say something, Mother Moon?
Oh, no, I'm just looking over the list, see who's joining in with us. We have a few new faces for me. Basketball for Life has joined us, so that's nice to see. Of course, we have Mega and Hefe and Squid, who haven't mentioned them. So I'm just looking through the list.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, thank you for Mother Moon paying attention. What is up to everyone on the chat line? My bad for missing a few of you in there, but we are definitely happy to have you here. Hefe is like this close to being a Raiders fan, I think. You wait, Kansas City has one bad season. He coming to the dark side. He gonna be jumping ships with the quickness. Hefe, I got a question for you. What if Mahomes was traded to the Raiders? Then would you be a Raider? Hypothetically speaking.
I tell you, that is surprising. That would be like me going on a Cowboys. You know what I mean? Because I'm an Eagles fan, obviously.
Not that we want him. I'm not saying we want him. I'm just trying to razzle Hefe a little bit. All right. So yeah, let's continue the quarterback chat here a little bit. But this one is the ongoing Raiders quarterback saga. But this one's more about Mariota. Eagles linked to another potential quarterback trade but this time with the Raiders involving Mariota. And Nevada Nick, your second favorite team is the Eagles after the Raiders. So I'm just kidding. He's an Eagles fan, everyone. I'm just kidding. But they already had kind of a controversial quarterback trade at the beginning of the season. Would you agree? The Eagles, that is.
Oh yeah, definitely with Wentz.
Or not the beginning of the season. Yeah. So what do you make of all this? Would you like Mariota on your team?
No. I mean, I want to go with Jalen Hurts now. I like Jalen Hurts, the young guy, and I don't want to mess with his psyche. You know, you traded Wentz, he's gone. Just give Hurts his opportunity. You know, they have a lot of young weapons on that team. I would go with him. Plus Mariota, I mean, I wouldn't want to give up a valuable pick for him. and I think the Raiders are trying to get a third or a fourth round pick. I think he is going to get traded, though. I think he's costing too much money for the Raiders, and they kind of, want to push in the chips with Carr.
Okay, so what do the Raiders do then? If they get rid of Mariota, I mean, they can't really just have Carr and then Peterman as the backup, right? Like, that's not an option.
I think you'll see them draft a quarterback.
Okay.
Not in the first 3 rounds.
I like that, actually.
But, yeah, maybe you draft a quarterback in the 4th round, or you try to find somebody like a Nick Foles gets released from the Eagles and bring in a guy like that. Maybe Ryan Fitzpatrick to back up from the Dolphins, if you want. But no, you do not want Nathan Peterman being your backup QB.
No.
Because if something happens to Carr, you guys are in a lot of trouble. It's
over.
Game, set, and match.
That's another Connor Cook situation going down if that happens.
No, 100%. Yeah, Nathan Peterman. I remember watching him play for the Bills. It was god awful. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I just think with Mariota too, he has a lot of weird
Reed
bonuses.
Says he should go to Chicago here. He thinks he'd be good in Chicago. He does have a lot of weird bonuses.
Yeah,
which is actually why I think the Raiders are afraid to play him a lot of the times, because they're like, oh well, if we put him in, we have to pay him.
Yeah. And he has like workout bonuses. So like basically he shows out to work out. He's going to get that. And then I think there's some, if he's on the roster at this point, and it goes to like 20 million. So
that's a smart deal. Who's his agent?
Yeah, it is a very smart deal. You got the first year and then loaded it in the back of the second year where, basically you're pushing the team to almost make a decision, So if he has a big year, you're up against it. And that's where the Raiders are.
All right, so no Mariota jersey on a back of an Eagles jersey on the back of the Eagles jersey for Nevada Nick, huh?
And that's what's funny, because we were in love with Mariota because he was, when Chip Kelly was the coach, he was at Oregon. So that was who everybody, all Eagles fans wanted Mariota, including me. But things have changed a little bit. I'm going to move forward with Jalen Hurts, and hopefully. And I think he's working hard. I'm excited to see how he does for the Eagles.
So there's no quarterback for you right now? Like no option in terms of like actually on the team? Is that where the Eagles stand? I'm not familiar with their situation.
What? Say that again?
Like who's the quarterback right now? Is there just not one? I'm not familiar.
No, Jalen Hurts from Alabama. Yeah.
No. Oh, who's currently the quarterback?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is.
Okay, so you want to keep him, you're saying? Yeah,
he played towards the end of the year after Wentz got benched. He played at Alabama, and then Tua replaced him at halftime in the national championship game, and they went on to win the national championship. He transfers to Oklahoma, has a great year. I like him. I think he's a good young quarterback. I think he's a leader. I think he's going to do good for the Eagles.
All right, stick with what you got, I guess. you're much like Raiders fans are always just like, no, we want someone else immediately. Make it happen.
Oh, trust me. One bad throw in Philadelphia, he'll be getting booed right away. Trust me. Yeah, you were in Philly. You've seen the town. We're not known for patience.
No, you are not. I have seen it. That was one of my favorite experiences. Not. I didn't know you then. So maybe if I would have known you then, and then it would have been a better experience. I'd have been like, I'm with this guy. Then they probably would have just started hating you, not liking me.
Yeah, probably would have started throwing things at me because of you.
It would have been.
I would have got a couple, triple D batteries thrown at my head, or that's Philadelphia for you.
That's Philly. All right. That's like worse than Oakland. Oh, she's trying to razzle you with the EAGLES Eagles. Yay, scary.
Well, they said that the two worst, the hardest places to go were the Black Hole and the Old Vet for the Eagles. So yeah, I mean Philadelphia and Oakland, they were intimidating places to play.
So I totally digress here. So what do you think the most intimidating places will be to play now? That's certainly not the Raiders. I think the Raiders hurt themselves a little bit because I think, like I've said, I think they're going to see a lot of fans from other teams going. Like I know in Philadelphia, that's the ticket to get this year. Everybody wants to go see Eagles, Raiders in Vegas. I mean, you're in Las Vegas. Who doesn't want to travel there? Much like a Miami Dolphins, a lot of people want to go to Florida in the fall. Get down and get into the weather. So I think you're going to see a lot of that. What about Cleveland? No.
Yeah, no, that's
Who like the bad boys or the stadium that's going to have that reputation moving forward? Do you think?
I mean, the Eagles have it a little bit, but like I said, the same thing with the Eagles. Since they moved from the vet to the link, it's much more corporate. I mean, we're still passionate fan base, but
Sure.
it's a lot of luxury boxes and it's very expensive. They priced out the average fan. So
right.
yeah, I mean, New York's tough always. The Northeast is really where it's, to me, that's the toughest. Then you get to like a New Orleans where you're in that dome and they can get so loud. That's a tough stadium as well.
Ah, okay. All right. Fair enough. Just interesting point or talking point I thought that I kind of just thought of. Jax is in here now. Hi, Jax. Thanks for joining. I promoted the show on Saturday at the beginning of the episode, so make sure to check that out. I'll cut the little snippet out for you. You could use that as a promotion as well. I don't know if you caught that, but we definitely will try to promote that as much as possible because, like I mentioned earlier in the show, it's for a very good benefit that we support. All right. Do you mind if I just say it again, Nevada Nick, while we have her in here?
Yeah, good, definitely.
All right, I'll let you take 5. All right, so now that we have Jackson here, I don't know if you were in here earlier, but it's always good to remind everybody because this is an important show that we're doing on Saturday. So Jack set up a show at 11 a.m. Pacific time right here on our YouTube channel. She's working with the Tuiasosopo family to raise awareness on opioid addiction. The Tuiasosopo family had to deal with this personally as tragedy has struck their family. Peter Navy Tuiasosopo will be on the show this Saturday with myself to raise awareness as he has lost his daughter Nasili to this epidemic. And to promote a benefit they are both hosting on May 15th, 3 p.m. at Tommy Rockers in Las Vegas. So you might know Peter Navy Tuiasosopo from the big screen. As I said earlier, he's appeared in Necessary Roughness, Scorpion King, Street Fighter, Mayans NC, and currently has a reoccurring role on Magnum PI. The Tuiasosopo family is very special to the Raider Nation, as Nasili's cousin, Marcus Tuiasosopo, is a former Oakland Raiders quarterback. And you know what we say, once a Raider, always a Raider. So we're always happy to support anything like this, and really an honor to have them on our show. So again, that's this Saturday, the 6th at 11 a.m. So if you're available, check that out. We will be live. If you can't check it out live, it will be it'll be on YouTube. So yeah, let's get back to some more football talk here with Nevada Nick. So I left that banner up during that, my bad. A lot of moving parts here. So we'll get back to where were we? Were we talking about the fantasy free agency?
Yep.
Okay, fantasy free agency. So we were kind of on the I kind of digressed with the stadium talk, but do you want to talk about this temptation here? Should the Raiders sign Vikings Kyle Rudolph or resist the temptation? Because they have the Raiders do have kind of, I mean, obviously Waller, but they do have another tight end they can focus on in Foster Moreau. So what do you think? What's your opinion?
Well, I think his better days are behind him with Rudolph, and I think he'll get a number 1 job somewhere else. I really do. And look, you said it. You got Moreau, you got Waller. Now look, the Raiders do implement 2 tight ends a lot. I mean, they run the ball. Yeah, but I would not go with Kyle Rudolph. There's some other, maybe somebody in the draft but yeah, I would not. I think he's seen his better days behind him. I would not sign him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And since we brought up Waller, I just wanted to talk about some of the recent quotes that he's had in, I think it was a recent interview where he said, "We have to make the playoffs, no excuses." And I like that attitude. I know they're just words, but if you can bring that kind of attitude, I think, into the locker room and get other guys speaking that way and talking that way, behaving that way, I think that's a good thing.
And then look, I like his mentality. I mean, look, he's a tough guy. A great story with what happened with him, with the Ravens, and then coming to the Raiders and overcoming substance abuse. So I think Waller's, definitely one of the cornerstones of the Raiders. I mean, he's a stud. The only thing I would like to see a little bit more out of him, he has these huge games, And I'm not saying it's his fault. It might be Gruden a little bit and not, but like you can get him the ball. I mean, I would like to see him be a little bit more consistent. But he's a Pro Bowl tight end. He might be the third best tight end in football after Kelsey and obviously I'm drawing a blank with the guy from George Kittle, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
From the Niners.
I forgot about him too because we don't think about 49ers around here. Yeah, so agree. I would pass on that. Waller, I think like you said, I tend to blame Gruden often for the lack of productivity, and I don't think this case is any different personally.
Yeah. Now I did think, not to go off topic, but you about Derek Carr. I thought Mayoc's comments on that were a little interesting.
Woo!
Because
let's talk about
said,
that.
Yeah, he said one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but then was non-committal and like saying we're not going to trade him, we're not going to move on to him. He basically said we evaluate all players after the season and we listen to all offers. So he didn't shut the door either. With a lot of guys, when you got your guy, you say, look, he's our guy. He's not going anywhere. That wasn't said. So I thought that was a little interesting.
Well, that was interesting, but I thought the most interesting part of that, when talking about, I think it was Trent Brown, I want to say Trent Brown or Gabe Jackson, not the point. The point was they was talking about the offensive line, and he said, "Well, we're going to need an offensive line to protect our to protect Derek Carr." It's like he stuttered, like he almost want to say to protect whoever's back there or whoever our quarterback is. Like, go back and maybe I read into it a little too much, but I was like, wow, he didn't just say we need an O-line to protect Derek Carr. He was like,
we looked at each other and we're like, is he stuttering?
Yeah. Like, is he uncertain about who the quarterback's going to be himself? That's what I took from it. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it a little too much, but. No,
I think it's very interesting. There's no doubt about it. I mean, look, when you have your guy, you usually just say, to protect Carr. But, and that, like I said to you, where we said before, like you overthink things, and that's probably what he was doing. He was going to say, and then he's like, oh, I better say, and he, probably stuttered and didn't know what to say.
Definitely. Jason Dean Hunter says, of course, he's always going to mention a Notre Dame player.
Why don't you just bring the whole team over to the Raiders, Jason Dean? Just transfer Notre Dame when they all graduate and make them the Raiders.
There you go. And then Chucky Stuggs agreed, get that ball to Waller. I think Waller's become a fast fan favorite as well. Wouldn't you agree, Mother Moon?
I agree. We've been talking about him for a while. Yeah, let's get that ball to him.
Yeah, it seems like, besides being a good player, I think a lot of other things, he's one of those stories that you want to root for as well. So, all things involved.
Let's get the ball to him.
Yeah, and you brought up to me, the two guys they should be getting the ball to the most are Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller. They're your two best offensive weapons, and there's no question about it. Aguilar's good, but we don't know if he's coming back. Waller and Jacobs are and they're both two very good young talents. So, you want to give them the ball, make them happy, and it's going to make the offense better.
What do you think, chat line? Do we want Aguilar back? What do you think? I would be happy to keep him, personally.
Yeah.
But what do you think, chat line?
Talking about the offensive line, Angela, and some of the things moving there, I wouldn't want to see 2 or 3 linemen go out the door and then Aguilar too. And I know everybody's kind of hyped up about Ruggs. And look, maybe he makes some improvement between year 1 and year 2. That's very possible. But I don't know if I'm counting on him to take over Aguilar's role. He doesn't run routes very well. He is explosive. There's no doubt about it. But that was the whole point, was to get him the ball down the field. And it seemed like they struggled to get him the ball, whether it was him not knowing the offense, or you would mention all the time, Gruden not making sure, hey, let's get this guy the ball. I don't know which one it was, but I thought he had a disappointing year.
This is the most interesting comment of the night for me. Trade Waller to KC. You have Kelsey. I'm not understanding this desire. I like Waller, but I might take him up on that.
Yeah, I would probably do that trade.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Hefe, explain yourself. See, you know what it is? He really wants to be a Raiders fan. That's right.
Yeah.
There's no other explanation for that.
KC has enough players. They don't need any Raiders players.
Thanks. Rub it in.
I'm just, they got a ton of weapons on offense. Hey, you guys beat them this year.
Yeah. I don't like to. That is great. I don't like to hold on to like one-off wins, if you will, solo wins. The end record is what really matters. And 8-8 to me is not something to brag about, even if one of those 8 wins was the Chiefs. That's me personally.
I agree 100%.
I mean, I would almost feel silly bragging about something like that when the team's performance is mediocre.
Yeah, I'm not a moral victory guy either. I get it.
There you go. We on the same page here, Nevada.
Yeah.
All right. What other fantasy free agents do we want to talk about? Is this a good move for the Raiders? This was an interesting. Can I touch on this really quickly? Because the only reason I bring this up is this fool, JuJu Smith, is playing video games and he's choosing the Raiders as his team, and then he's tweeting it out or whatever, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever. So is that a hint, or is that just trolling? Or is he just having fun? Is he teasing us? Like or is it nothing at all?
I think it's a little bit of everything, like you said. It really is.
Okay.
I think it's teasing it. I think it's, to maybe flirt with the Raiders a little bit, to tell the Steelers, hey, I'm willing to go elsewhere. I think a lot of it's trying to drive up his price, but I wouldn't go there. I would actually take Aguilar over him, because I think you're going to get Aguilar to a better contract. I think, Smith-Schuster is going to get paid a lot of money. And I don't like all the distractions, he was doing with the TikTok videos on team. And like, you're signing checks your teammates need to cash when you're going and, dancing on teams' 50-yard line and in their end zone and taunting them. And then they go on the losing streak. And it's just, I don't like players like that. It's very,
it reminds me
initials I don't want to say, because I know people don't like bringing it up, but it reminds me of a former Steelers / Raiders receiver.
We appreciate not bringing that up.
Yeah, I won't do it.
But it kind of reminded me, I can't remember the game it was. I think it was around Christmas time, something like that, when Josh Jacobs went on Instagram and said that he's not playing, which was just total BS, because he said he wanted to mess with like the Vegas numbers, or I forget
and
what
fantasy football
was.
too.
Fantasy football, that's what it was. Fantasy football. So he said if he wasn't going to play, then the fantasy football people were going to sit him or whatnot. And it was all this just joke or something. It's like, I get it. These are young guys and everyone's into social media, but there's a time and a place for that. Like, you should be warming up and focusing on winning, not playing around on social media, messing up fantasy football teams.
And the optics are bad too. When you should maybe be in the, looking at some game film or looking at your game plan.
Stretching, whatever.
Whatever. Right. Getting taped, your ankles taped, you're on your phone tweeting out stuff that are lies too. Like, what's the point? Like, why? And
immaturity.
Yeah, no.
I mean, how old is he? 22, 3?
22 or 23, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that's what it is. These kids are young nowadays, and that's why they have these rookie symposiums. And look, I'm older, I don't get some of that stuff, but it's the way of the new, it's the new world we live in. That's just the way it is.
Sure, and I don't mind it if, like the JuJu Smith thing doesn't bother me. That's in his off season. That's on his own time. This is not while you're on the field. But that's neither here nor there. My point is, I wonder if it's just one of those things.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
All right, so let's see. Let's talk about some other fantasy free agency options. What do you make of this one here? I've been reading some news about, and I'm not familiar with this player, so I will let you take this.
Look, he's a player. There's no doubt about it. But at 17, no, he's not a dream draft pick. To me, it would be a reach. He's going more into the later parts.
I didn't realize he was 17.
No, the 17th pick.
Oh! I thought you said he was 17.
No,
I was like, oh wow.
You can't play till you're 20 in the NFL.
Oh, okay. I was like, did he graduate college like super early or something?
But everything I've seen, look, he's a good player, but it's more in the later parts of the first round. So if they're going to do that, trade back, get some more draft capital, and take him if that's your guy. Like, I don't love drafting linebackers in the first round. I think you can find good linebackers in free agency for good prices, or later parts of the draft. Like I said, I've always said I'd go defensive line, but Mayock is known for reaching. Everybody said Farrell was a reach where he was taking them, and it's starting to look like it was now.
It was, yeah. I was like,
They were
right.
I hate to, but no,
really,
not
really
at
quickly,
17.
can I interject really quickly?
Yeah,
I just
yes.
want to shout out Raider Art here in case he has to tune out at some time. This is a very nice comment. He shout out to all of the For Life or Raider Story crew out there. It means a lot to all of us. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much. You mean a lot to us as well. Thank you for watching. So we appreciate you, and we're glad you're enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah, thank you, Raider Art.
And Evan and Nick, we thank you too. You're part of making this show great.
No problem. I love what you guys do, and I'm excited to see what you guys do with fans back this year and to meet everybody when I come out to Vegas. I think you guys look, Raiders fans. It's the one thing you really. It does seem like a family with you guys and a community, and it's really cool.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. And now you're part of it. So I cut you off. My apologies.
That's okay. No, but yeah, with Collins, I think it would be a reach. Like I said, if they move back 7 or 8 spots and get like another second or third round pick, I'm for it. I mean, like I said, I would lean another position, but if it's who they like, I think he is going to be a stud. I know Jason Dean won't like it because he wants the linebacker from Notre Dame, of course. So, but no, he would be a dream
everybody
fit.
from Notre Dame. Anytime we ask, who should the Raiders get? It's somebody from Notre Dame. Jason,
Yes,
you have to save that for when you're serious about a player. We're never going to take that seriously.
But like I said, it's tough because that's the problem with being 8-8. You're in the middle of the draft too, so you're kind of in like no man's land. Yeah, it
almost it would almost be beneficial for the Raiders to trade down.
Yeah,
maybe, like if they could trade down a little bit and get multiple picks, and they could find some some gems, a couple players that can really perform well instead of maybe just guessing on who the best 17th player is. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I agree. To me, the more darts you have at the dartboard, the better chance you have. So,
especially since the Raiders aren't particularly good at playing darts.
Yeah, no, 100%. and look, if it was a top 3 or 4 pick and there's somebody you love, I get staying with your pick. But where they're at, I think it would probably be a good move, unless there is somebody that they're ho-hum on that they love at 17 and he falls to them. And look, there's a couple linemen I like, at defensive end. Some people like Barrymore, the defensive tackle out of Alabama. But yeah, if there's a defensive lineman there at 17 that they like, I would draft it. If not, I would definitely move back.
All right, fair enough. Well, now that we're talking about, of course, all the drafting and the young players and things like this, I think this is an interesting topic. What does this mean for teams? Of course, this is not specific to the Raiders. Mm-hmm. Every team has to deal with. I think I heard there's no preseason again this year as well. I could be maybe I'm misspeaking. There's no combine. They can't interact with the players. The players can't come visit facilities. They can't be wined and dined. Like all this stuff that changes the dynamic of drafting. Which is interesting because they're back to COVID protocols that were from a year ago, but the Super Bowl went off without a hitch. So we can talk about what it means for the team, and I'll let you speak on that. But before I get there, it's like, how do you let all these people attend a Super Bowl game, media, players, halftime show, all this stuff? And, I'm not complaining about it. I'm glad it went off. I'm glad it went well. But then how do you go, okay, but now all this is unsafe?
I couldn't agree with you more. And look, OTAs are important too, especially with the young guys you're implementing to your team, the free agents. Now, the Raiders, where they're a little bit luckier, is you've had the same coach for a couple of years, so it's the same system. The players are, implemented into that system. But you want to have OTAs, and the prime example is a guy like Trent Brown, so that you can gauge what kind of shape he's in. Is he staying in shape? And look, if he showed up in April or May when they have OTAs and they're not happy, you can move on from him. But now you're kind of taking the risk of maybe counting on Trent Brown. And then if he rolls into training camp out of shape, you're kind of stuck with him. And that's not what you want, especially at his price tag.
Definitely. And good night, Chucky Thugs. Thanks for joining. We appreciate you being in here. If you're still on here, if not, I'll shoot you a message after because, we love you. Let's see. Also, shout out to a lot of the Black Hole chapters all over the U.S. and even internationally. Yes, definitely. Shout out to the Black Hole. We love the Black Hole. I'm going to miss the Black Hole. There will never be another Black Hole. I don't care what anybody
No.
says, where anybody sits, what everybody wants to call it. The Black Hole is a done deal and is in the past, and it will be missed, I think.
We need to open the bar called the Black Hole.
Shh.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm kidding. That would be dope to be.
I was just going to say, maybe you too, tell that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Keep down the DL, Mother Moon. Come on.
I need to trademark that.
Yeah, I saw the light bulb go over Angela's head when you said that.
Yeah, right.
All of a sudden, her mic turns off. Moon, are you? Do we lose you? Do we lose you? Well, so we covered a lot. We actually covered most of what we wanted to talk about. We still have some pretty good conversation going here, though. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up that we didn't kind of already have planned or speak about?
I do. Now, we talked about offensive line earlier. So if they do move on from a Trent Brown, there are a lot of good free agent offensive linemen. It's just what's going to be the price. Usually in free agency, you do have to overpay. Now, we are in a weird year with COVID. This is the first time in years the salary cap's been lowered for the NFL, obviously because no fans in the stadium. But there's some really, look, you got two good guards out there in Brandon Scherf and Joe Thuney. Maybe that's what they're looking at with Gabe Jackson, is saying, look, we'll take his $10 million and try to go get one of those guys. Trent Williams, who was the tackle for, perennial Pro Bowl tackle for the Redskins, and then the Niners, he'll be out there. There are some rumors that they want to replace Trent Brown with Russell Okung. And if that happens, if you have a replacement for him, I don't mind it as much. I think Trent Brown, when he plays, is better, but still Okung's a very good offensive tackle, so I'm fine with that. And there's a couple good other centers and guards out there. I don't know what they're going to – they haven't really said what they're going to do with Rodney Hudson, the center. He's got a big cap number. I would think with all the other talk, they're going to hold on to him now because what are you going to get rid of your whole offensive line? So, yeah, we will I would hope not too. But, we'll see what happens. And like I said, the thing I'm mainly curious to see too, I think they'll keep Incognito. I hope they do. But I'm curious to see what they do with Trent Brown. I really am.
So, yeah, let's talk about that really quickly. I know we talked about it earlier, but I thought he was signed. So
he is signed. It's just
what did you hear specifically?
It was on there. He was, one of the people that was rumored to possibly get released. And I think it's just, he's 38 years old. You worry about injuries. I think his cap hit was like 6.8 million, 7 million, something like that.
So really, they're just trying to figure out how much money is here, how much money is there, what we can get, that type of thing. And so he landed in that discussion. Right.
A part of it, too, could be the ploy from the team to get him to restructure, because you want to get as much money as you can. Maybe it's, we don't want to keep you at 6.8 million. What if we put you to 4.5? Will you take that? And trust me, it happens a lot in the NFL. So it could be that, too. A lot of game playing going on between teams and agents.
Yeah, definitely. It's so much. I know some people are like, oh, I'm tired of like this fantasy. Well, I don't think anyone calls it fantasy free agency, but me. I think it's called like mock draft or something, right? I made my own lingo, but whatever. I think people are kind of tired of talking about it, they say, but I don't know. I kind of find it interesting. I like the strategic elements of what could happen, and it's like a chess game, and I wish we had more of an inside scoop. I'm not saying we should or anything like that. I just find it really intriguing. I find it almost more intriguing than I don't say than watching the game, but it's a big part of the game, but it's not on the field.
Yeah, and that's why I'm real curious too to see. I think the biggest story is going to be Deshaun Watson. I still think Russell Wilson is a little far-fetched yet that they would trade him. I think that's something that's more down the line. I don't think he's going to end up staying in Seattle. I think you'll see that. Part ways eventually. I don't think it's going to happen this year.
He'll be like a quarterback that goes the entire career and goes 1 year somewhere or something.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Watson situation a little bit. Now, Russell's obviously older, but last year Watson was upset because they traded Hopkins without telling him. So look, it kind of just got worse. They fired one of the coaches he really liked. They didn't involve him in the GM hire. They didn't involve him in the head coaching hire. And then, Watt moves on. And then he said, look, I'm done. I'm not playing there. And they got a stare down going on pretty much. That he says he will not play in Houston, and they say they aren't going to trade him. And I'm really interested to see what happens with him, because if he is out there, I think the Raiders would be stupid not to try to see if they could get him.
Okay, well, hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's a lot going on. So when I guess when will we know? No, like
in regards to what quarter, like Wilson and Watson, or
like when do you think we'll know about these quarterback moves?
You're going to know not around free agency. I think it's more going to be once you're getting to the draft, because teams want to know what they're doing by the draft. And I would think Houston is going to want to get picks for this year to try to rebuild as quick as they can if they move on. Same thing with Seattle. So I think in regards to those two, you'll know by the draft. Free agency, it starts 2 weeks from today, but they have that window where teams can negotiate, but then it's not official to the 17th. And I think that might be the weekend before or the Monday the 15th. But you'll start hearing a lot of things the weekend before St. Patty's Day in regards to free agents.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Looks like the chat line has gone to campfires, toilet paper, and Mahomes jerseys.
Because Mahomes jersey's $1,500, and he's an expensive. Thor said expensive toilet paper.
Ah, okay. And then I think Travis says expensive campfire or something like that. So I guess they're trying to decide if they should burn it and make a fire, or wipe their booties with it.
Yeah,
that's the big discussion here. What's the over? No, should we make a campfire with it, or should we wipe our asses?
I would. Yeah, money's money, man. I would sell it then. Sell it to the highest bidder. That's what I would do.
Then you can just wipe your butt with one of the 1500s, and then it's a win-win game. So anyway, I don't know where the conversation went. I just thought I'd chime in because it was funny.
Right. That came from that Hefe wanted to take me out on a date. Right.
I missed that.
And so Travis is being my manager and say, well, you have to wear a jersey. And then
you didn't see that. I saw it, Angela. I didn't worry about. I thought maybe
Oh no! I was trying to catch up. I was trying to catch up. I'm like, we're wiping asses, we making fires.
I thought it might have been too taboo for you, thinking a Raiders fan and a Chiefs fan dating. So.
Oh no, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it's awful. That's why.
Nobody, you would not look good in that. Nobody looks good in that color. No.
It isn't. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the red and yellow. I'm not. I agree with you.
Well, it's barely red. It's like blood orange or something. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You know what color it is? Ugly. That's what color it is. Anyone ever ask what color it is? Just say ugly. Sorry, not sorry. Raider Art says, just to let you all know that every parking lot at Allegiant Stadium will be more expensive than it is the next time you all go over there. Okay, well,
we'll just pile.
What does that mean exactly, though? Because it wasn't inexpensive or expensive this year because nobody could park there, so we didn't pay.
Right, of course it'd be more.
So I don't, but it didn't even have a price tag yet.
No,
but they did see.
They're already raising it. They raised it from not even allowing anyone to park there. Okay. Hey, I wouldn't doubt it. The Raiders had one winning season in Oakland, and the ticket prices went up. What's it, like 54%? Like 54,
really?
Yeah, after that one winning season in 2016, the ticket prices went up 54%.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they went on to be a losing season. And then, well, we know we don't have to rehash it. But is that ridiculous? Like, you had one winning season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that kind of tells you about the Raiders fan base, though, too. That's how passionate you guys are. And, I mean, it doesn't make it right, but, you guys love your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Raiders know this.
Raiders. The Raiders are coming for you.
The one thing that's crazy to me is, Al Davis was so beloved, and now you see his son, and he's like, to me, I mean, he's kind of hated, don't you think? I don't.
Can I plead the fifth?
Yeah, you can plead the fifth.
All right.
Although it's already written in stone.
I know it's
somewhere.
already. Yeah, watch our episode. You'll know exactly how we feel about him.
Well, you can
Yeah.
blame it on me.
Yeah. We'll let Thor take that one. I think that's Thor's favorite topic. Thor had one of my all-time favorite quotes from our series. Mark Davis don't know shit about shit. So I think that might say it all right there.
Well, that was the thing too about Al Davis. He did have a great football mind. He really did. He knew what he was doing. I mean, obviously, they had the whole 30 for 30 thing, but he was, one of the great owners in sports.
Yep, he will be missed. He is missed. I said he is missed, but I guess we gotta. There's a lot of things we gotta deal with. I'm gonna go way off topic here, and I'm trying to watch my mouth. So.
You look like Mike Mayock today.
I know, right?
What to say?
Be nice, Andrew. Be nice. We're Raiders fans here.
Hoorah! She's already hit her quota
Hoorah!
for negative. So yeah, she's not a quota.
I was not all negative. I was just bringing up talking points. Facts aren't negative. Facts are facts.
Facts are facts. I'm talking about from this morning till the show started. You're negative.
It's an interesting point, though. We do get hated on a lot of time for basically just saying facts. I mean, I don't know if maybe you don't get this, Nevada Nick, but like as a lot of us here on For Life anyway, and other shows or opinions, people that like us who will just basically spit the facts get hated on, which is really interesting to me. But nobody hates the team that's actually being that I'm like, they're mediocre. That's a fact. Like, me saying it doesn't make me a hater. Yeah. Like, why are you hating me? Why don't you hate mediocrity?
Yeah. Well, go work. I mean, and people like that too, go work for the team then. Not to be, you're just talking the truth. I mean, I don't know. I would rather hear the truth than some homer just, being, taking the team line, I mean, look, the Raiders have struggled over the last 2 decades. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I get it. I mean, to me, from the outside looking in, it would be tough to be positive. I mean, just from what
Yeah, we try. I know Nevada Nick texted me all season long. Like, he's like, I think you were like, this is the first season that I've really like fully kept up with every Raiders games. And he was like, I don't know how you do it.
The stretch at the end of the season, I mean, it was tough. It was tough. I mean,
you'll get used to it.
Yeah, look, I know, like I said, my biggest pain was with the Eagles was the consecutive NFC Championship losses. And look, I know you say, well, look, you're so lucky you're going to the playoffs, but it is painful when you're at the precipice of the Super Bowl every year and you get right there and lose. So, I mean, it is very, but I can't imagine, what you guys had to go through last year and the last few years. It's been tough, I'm sure. For
sure. Like, Reef agrees. He says, good point about the ticket increase in 2017. Goodbye, $60 black hole seats. Yeah, they went up. I don't remember exactly how much they went up to, and I think each level was a different percentage, but it was definitely a significant amount. Say, Jason Dean Hunter talking about the Irish again. Of course, I want Irish players. And Ed Jock. This is that guy with a weird name, right?
Yeah, Jeremiah Uoso Karamoa. I can't. It's a tough name to pronounce, but yeah, that's
is that a rapper? About. Just kidding.
No, that's the.
No, I know. He's gonna be a star in the NFL. He is what teams are looking for at safety, rush, linebacker. Where do you think he's gonna go, Jason Dean Hunter? Where do you think he'll end up? And will you be wearing his jersey? That's the question. That's the big question.
I mean, it is possible he goes to the Raiders. It is. Because now somebody like him at 17 makes a little bit more sense because that's the range he's going is in the teens. So somebody like that at 17 for the Raiders does make a little bit more sense. And Jason Dean is right. He's going to be able to rush the quarterback. So, and he's very athletic. So somebody like him, I would like for the Raiders.
Definitely. I'll take it. Reef says Raiders been collapsing in second half of the season since 2017. I think that's being kind.
Yeah.
I think that's if you skip 2016, I think it probably even goes further back than that, but that is true.
Yeah. Well, and this year was a second. I mean, because in the beginning half of the year, it looked so good. It was like the tale of two different seasons almost. Because I thought, the Raiders were my surprise team going into the year, and they started off so good. I mean, they looked really good early, and then it tailed off at the end of the year, obviously.
You call it the tale of two different seasons. I call it the tale of a Raider season. I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
I mean, I'm
No.
really I just made a catchy line for what Reef already said. It's true. It's true.
And what's tough too, being like,
What is this?
with-
What does this mean? No drinks today, spicy Raider girl. Does that mean you don't want me to drink? Because too late.
Yeah. he must have missed you drinking.
Way too late.
Must
for
not have
that.
seen it.
Drinking game.
But
Yeah, well, it's too late.
one thing tough too is to look in the AFC and you see, we talk about the quarterbacks in the AFC West with Mahomes and Herbert, but you see Josh Allen with the Bills is really good.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield and the Browns make the playoffs this year. There's a lot of good young quarterbacks in the AFC.
Yes, thank you, Nevada Nick, for.
And now Wentz. Oh, I'm sorry, but Wentz is coming to Indianapolis. I mean, it's. I'm sorry.
It's going to be tough. I've said this. I don't know, all year's the right word, whatever. I've said this at the end since the end of the last season. The Raiders are going to have another 8-8 season. I think. No, maybe they'll do better. Okay, I'll take that back. But I do think they will be competing for third place in their division. I really do. And even if they squeak in as a wild card, once you get there, you've got to be a really, really good football team.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's enough moves, honestly. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think there's enough moves the Raiders can make to really make a push.
Yeah. And the big question is going to be what happens even if they have a winning year this year, and let's say they go 9-7. To me, you're 7-9, 8-8, 9-7 the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So you're essentially 24-24. You're mediocre. And what happens with Gruden, what happens with Carr, and that would be, look, if you have a year like that, and it's like, what are they going to do then? Implode? You know what I mean? Blow up Carr and
that's
Gruden.
what I think. It's like how much patience are we going to have?
Right.
Like, it has to really get better. It has to really get better fast. It's not like it's going to get better in a year. So if they don't make the big changes now, it's not going to be a year. It's going to be 3, 4, 7. Who knows?
Right. And that's why I said I would make the move for the quarterback. I don't hate Derek Carr. I think he's a quarterback with a good team around him that could win a Super Bowl if he had a team around him.
Exactly. This could be a win-win situation if you think about it. If Derek Carr goes elsewhere, he can thrive, and good for him. I'm not hating on him.
Yeah.
Go do it in another league would be better. Go do it in the other league would be better.
Right.
But if he's successful in the NFC, good for him. I'm not mad at that. As long as we're successful too. It could be a win-win. It doesn't have to mean his career's over or we want him to lose or anything like that.
Right. And look, you're talking about with the two quarterbacks you're talking about possibly replace them with, they're 2 top 5 quarterbacks. So it's not like, I mean, and Carr is very good, but these guys are elite. And, and if you got one of those two, the Raiders will be in the playoffs this year.
Jason Dean says, get Jefferson from the Rams to play. Free safety, get Sherman on a friendly deal, and Tomlinson from the Giants. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good move. You get 2 secondary people. Tomlinson is a good guy up the middle at defensive tackle. Where I was looking, I would like to get an end. I'd like to see them go for one of those young ends. A guy like Judon from the Ravens. You're not going to have to break the bank for him and give him a $70-80 million deal. He's a good player. You put him on the other side of Crosby, and then if maybe you draft another defensive lineman, bring in Richard Sherman. You hope those young kids play better this year. Maybe you go get another corner at free agency. But I don't think this defense is that far off. I think Gus Bradley is going to help them just scheme-wise, making them better. And if they can pick the right pieces, I think that defense can become a top half of the league type defense, top 15.
Wow. Big statement there.
They got to make the right moves, though. That's the big, that's it. Yeah.
You have to rate the right moves. And like Travis says, unfortunately, coming from college to the NFL, it's a whole other ball game, and it's really 50-50 on drafting. And I think more so this year, as we touched on earlier, not just for the Raiders, but for all of the teams across the NFL without OTAs and the likes of everything that comes along with that. Nobody's really going to really get to evaluate these guys besides, watching film and their college games, but clearly that doesn't translate as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have OTAs.
Well, and a lot of it too, they base on physical gifts. If I was a talent evaluator, I would mainly try to go off game film, see how they play in the game, because you can't measure what's up here and what's in here, and that's the biggest thing. You don't know how mature somebody is. That's why they do the crazy. They'll send people in the beginning of the college season to do background work on these players to really dig into their lives and make sure there's no, horseplay going on or any issues or off the field issues. Because, obviously you're going to invest millions of dollars into a player. So, yeah.
Yeah. I want to say what's up to the Archbishop. He's in here. He was on our show from New York. The Silver and Black Empire. So thanks for watching. Good guy. He was fun to chat with and to hang out with. So thanks for watching. We have Raider Lando that says had high hopes for Carr, our last Oakland quarterback. Ooh, that's a good point. I think I just got attachment issues a little bit.
Angela's back in already.
I know, right? And I'm back. All right. It hadn't occurred to me, honestly. And I think this might be the greatest point right here. We all know this. No pass rush, no playoffs. That is 100% true. Can't put pressure on the quarterback. Can't win games. And I think that's going to be a big key to the Raiders' success. So we'll see if they can figure that out.
And plus, when you get a pass rush too, that can hide up some of your deficiencies in the secondary because you're putting pressure on the quarterback. So that's why, like I said, I would have no problem with them making their number one free agent signing being a defensive end and their number one draft pick being a defensive end or tackle, because you can't have too many pass rushers. There's no doubt about it.
No, I agree. And Raider Art says Carr did the best for our team. Yes, he did. And you know what? His best wasn't good enough. That's all I got to say. I mean, not knocking him, he did his best, and I get it's a team thing, and he needed defense and all the stuff. I get it. But it's just got to be figured out. It's got to be figured out how to win. I don't know. Honestly, I can't for the life of me figure out why everyone's just okay with being mediocre. I'm over it.
Well, and to me, look, you can analyze other players with stats. Quarterbacks, they're judged on wins and playoff wins and Super Bowl wins. Simple as that. That's how that's where quarterbacks, it's about winning. And if you're a winning quarterback,
gonna remember how many, yards an 8-8 quarterback threw in random year.
Right. Well, and you look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was the greatest regular season quarterback, but he couldn't win the Super Bowl for years, and he can't win the big game. And look, like I said, it's about winning and winning in the playoffs.
Well, okay, we'd like a chance to win in the playoffs. You got to get there.
Well, I can't help it as a playoff win. That's my point. I mean,
yeah, no, you're right though. You're right. No, you're absolutely right. But winning in the playoffs. But we can't.
Let's just get there first.
Let's get there first.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, we'll talk about getting the win. We'll just get there first.
And honestly, at the beginning of the season, I thought, at least with the new playoff structure, I thought the Raiders were for sure going to make the playoffs. Even as a wild card, it was super disappointing. Obviously to everybody, that not only that they couldn't, but that they didn't. It was almost, I hate to use the word expected, but come on.
No, I felt the same way. They had that big push in year 2 with Gruden, where they looked.
Vega agrees with me. He's not okay with mediocrity. I think that's what he means.
No, look, I wouldn't be either. And like I said, they had the big push in year 2. I thought they were going to be a playoff team too last year. And I think the biggest issue was with some of those players that had all the high hopes, you didn't see the improvement. And, the Damon Arnett's of the world didn't pan out as much as they thought. So hopefully those guys get better. And look, this year, I think maybe you bring in the expectations a little bit. Hopefully they'll, beat your expectations.
Hopefully. Well, I always hope for that. I've always hoped for that. So far, it hasn't happened. I think Omar's probably the most optimistic person on our cast. He's always like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna go like 12-4." I'm like, "Dude, are you what? Like you?
Yeah.
Okay, Okay, good for. I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Yeah, because I was going to go with Jason Dean because Jason Dean, Jason. Well, he's not on the cast.
He's not.
But, yeah, but Jason Dean every year the Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl. So.
Well, he's kidding, right? He doesn't actually believe that.
I don't know. I don't think Jason Dean just. I love the positivity, but I think he might really believe it.
Well, Jason Dean, if you are still in here and if you think that's true, I will take you up on that one. If you want to bet, I got you. I'll bet whatever you want. I don't see that happening. Let's start with playoffs. No, but good for him. Good for him. I wish I could be a little more optimistic. I guess I've been to so many games where it's just like I've gotten the wind sucked out of me a little bit.
I couldn't believe when you told me you were never to a road game that they won. I couldn't believe that. And you've been to a bunch of road games, right?
Yes. There's two caveats to that, I'll say.
Okay.
I went to when I was in Mexico City, they did win.
Right.
But that was technically a home
game. Right.
And then the only other away game I see, but it's not like a trip for me. It's like a given. And I used to live in LA. It was when they beat I've been to them when they beat San Diego.
Okay.
Like in San Diego.
Okay.
But that one, not like a trip that I've planned and had like a whole week over there, and not like that. Oh yeah, and I've been to a bunch. Never planned, and let's put it this way: never planned an entire trip and went and won and was happy with the results after, where I was able to enjoy the rest of my trip.
You weren't happy with the results in Atlanta?
Oh, cool. I knew you were going to say that. I was like, I could see him. I'm like, something's coming here. Are you kidding me? I put myself in a timeout during the whole fourth quarter. I was waiting for the camera to come on me and watch me pout, and I was going to be that person being made fun of. Except the only reason I wasn't that person is because Double G, a.k.a. Clown Prince, was already asleep. So if they're going to pick on anyone, he was next to me. I figured they might go to him.
Well, there was the one positive that weekend, being on Showtime and all. So
yeah, that was cool. Did you hear that they did us dirty, though? You heard how they did
us
dirty, right?
Yeah.
What turns they had? So it was little Chucky Gruden in front.
Yep.
And then it was us in the behind him, because he's the star of every show, as he should be. And the tagline was, "What turns a doll into a madman? Sub quarterback play." Like, woo, you gonna do us like that? And use cute little Chucky Gruden. Boy. No, but it was cool. It was that. I mean, that might have been like the fun. That might have been a highlight.
Blame NFL Films, and that's right outside of Philadelphia too. So blame them.
See,
they're the ones who do that.
They're haters. Yeah. They're haters. Let's see. I moved away from the chat line a little bit. Yes, always a shout out to our boy the Violator. Congrats to our friendly neighborhood Wayne. Friendly neighborhood. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I mean, I know who Wayne is. I know who the Violator is. A friendly neighbor, like our friendly neighbor, maybe. For being, it doesn't matter. Yeah. For being inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame of fans. I just wanted to understand in case I'm missing something.
Yeah, good for him. And yeah. I actually, even before linking up with you guys, I did know who he was from.
Right? Who doesn't?
Yeah, and everybody knows who the Violator. No, I did vote for him.
Oh, nice. Who else do we have in here? Let's see. Oh, it's bouncing around on me. I have Travis. He says, "I have too many Raiders tattoos to jump ships. I'll die." Listen, Travis, nobody's talking about jumping ships. All right, take it easy. Nobody's jumping ships. We just keeping it real. Okay. Oh, hey, do me a favor then. If you're so proud of their record, get that tattooed on you. I kid. I love Raider Travis. Raider Travis is always supporting the show. He's always promoting us on his Instagram and whatnot. I got so much love for you, Travis. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, Travis, I hope you join in on Sunday.
Yeah, you should, Travis. Join us on Sunday if you're not doing anything. Nevada Nick, you're going to be there, right?
Yep. What time is it?
10 until we're done.
10. You always remember, I'm East Coast, so 1 p.m. my time, 10 p.m.?
Yes.
10 a.m. your time? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That's it.
So you're going to start drinking at 10 a.m.?
You know it. Sue, Sunday looks like we at the Raiders game.
Because I want to see this Santangelo everybody talks about. That's what I want to see.
Boy. No. I'm not sure you do. Actually, I like you too much. I don't think you'll ever see her. Usually when you see Santangelo.
So what's that, an angry version of you drunk? Is that what that is?
Not
It
even
doesn't have to be about. No, it's not a drunk thing.
Oh, I thought it was a drunk thing.
It's not a drunk thing. It's just when somebody really says the wrong thing or looks at me the wrong way. It's like this other person. I've never met her, and I've never like been there. I just hear about it, and I have to take the wrath from her behavior. So
I'm the same way. With me, it's like a light switch, and when it goes, and it's not good. I'm the same way.
Yeah, sometimes I have to lock her in the closet. And then
actually, I think she had to put Santangela on a timeout in Atlanta.
I said, oh hell no! This is not her mom to speak up. This is not Mother Moon anymore. It's your mother.
Yeah, I was on 2 timeouts in Atlanta. We can blame the Raiders for that one. Anyway.
Would they put you in a corner? Mother Moon put you in a corner somewhere? Were you standing somewhere in a corner when you got in timeout?
Kind of. Wait, so in the game, I had to go sit in the upper section. And then when we went to the dinner at the restaurant, there was a table of 25 people?
Yeah.
Maybe more. I had to go down and sit at the bar by myself.
I'm like, you gotta go.
I was like, F these guys. We came all the way here. I risked COVID. I could have died. They couldn't even score a touchdown. Blah, blah, blah. F these guys. And I'm just like, okay, enough. Take it easy.
Yeah. So no,
that was the very nice version of it, though. But anyway, we digress. We going way off topic now. All right, let's see what else the chat line has to say. We need to stop getting all those uncalled for penalties and give opportunity to. Okay, well, I mean, I get it. Raiders get some unfair calls, but I'm not sure that's the reason that they're 8-8.
Yeah, I think a part of it is, I know people look at that and say, oh, we're the most penalized team. I think for a long time, I'm not saying the last year or two, but you guys were one of the most undisciplined teams for a long time. Now, I'm not saying more recently, but for a while, the Raiders were a very undisciplined team.
I like that, though. That was like penalties they deserve for playing a little dirty. Like, I'm not mad at that. It's the stuff that's blatant, like, obviously not or what, What's up, Sarah? I see you in here, girl. She tuning in. She checking us out. Maybe we'll get her to go live with us. I'm going to be hanging out with her on Thursday, so maybe I could. I'll turn the cameras on her. Let's see if she lets us. What do you think, Sarah? Let's see. Oh, yes. Thank you, the Archbishop. Like I said, he was on the show. So thank you again, everyone. Everyone's always welcome on our show. This is a platform. It originally started as our story. And like we always said, we want to hear everyone else's story as well. So that's what we've tried to do. And being in different places like Baja and Atlanta and New York, of course, here in Oakland, we want to hear everyone's story because everyone does, and it's all very interesting.
Back to family, having a good time in the Oakland parking lot. Those who've been and those who have never been, we're teaching them.
We teaching them
how to be Oakland.
Yeah, like I said before, I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys out and amongst the people this year. I really am, and I'm looking forward to when they drop the schedule too, so you can kind of see when's who's opening game. When for me, I can't wait to see when the Eagles are going to be in Vegas. I know you guys.
Remind me of the date, the 29th.
What?
What's the date? The schedule comes out.
It's April sometime. I don't know when.
Okay.
I think it's like the middle of April usually.
Okay. Is it before the draft?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the draft is the 29th, right? So we're gonna know soon. We're gonna know in 6 weeks.
Yep.
We're gonna know. My hope, my desire, like if I could make this the perfect schedule ever, is if the Raiders play New York the same either week before or week after as a U.S. Open. Like,
if that happens, we're there.
Yeah, like, please.
That's our ultimate.
I've never wanted anything more.
So that would have to be early September, right?
Early
Isn't that
September.
when it is? Yeah.
It usually kicks off Labor Day weekend. So we'll see. So I know I kind of while I shifted gears a little bit, I want to randomly shout out the U.S. Women's National Team soccer team for winning the She Believes Cup again for the second consecutive year, and the fifth time since 2016. They haven't. I don't even want to say how long they haven't done what I was about to say because I don't want to jinx them. But that was great to see, and good luck to them in the Olympics. I hope that still kicks off.
Yeah, they haven't really said much about that.
Well, they said I heard an interview today that as far as they know, they're still playing. So You know, it's getting close. What is it? June, right? June, the Olympics?
Yeah, it's
late July, I think.
Late July? Okay.
Yeah, in there somewhere. So I think the players are going to play, but as far as the fans and everyone traveling, there's going to be huge restrictions right now. But hopefully, those who've been working hard to be in the Olympics, they can still go and have that
Hopefully so.
experience. I hope so.
Let's see. Sarah says we may not want that. I think we do. Nevada, you want to see her on the show, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, for
See.
sure.
Hey, she likes you, Nevada Nick. You want her some money in Vegas. You want? She said. Here's my money. Do what Nevada Nick said to do. And I
That's
said,
right.
okay. And she goes, what happened? I go, this happened, and I handed her money. So and you're in her book, you good. What is this? We don't jump ship. We jump opposing fans for talking crap about. This is true. By the way, if you want to hear some great stories about that, check out our candid conversation, the Moon interview. She sat down with Senor. If you want to hear some stories about that,
He goes way back.
he goes way back. And let's just say, if you are ever in any trouble, tell people you're with him, Nevada Nick. If you ever need assistance, put on a Raider hat and tell him to talk to Senor. You'll be good.
Oh, I'm too smart to go to an opposing team sing with my jersey. That's why I would be incognito. That's what I would do. I would just go there and just quietly root for the Eagles.
Senor can take care of himself.
That's for sure.
That is for sure. But also, he can also just sip his giant beer, and that's like the signal for like everyone to know to come get his back.
Right,
Like he got it like that.
Now that's one thing I got to say too. Like seeing some of your videos with the tailgating, man. I don't know a team that tailgates better. I can say that. I mean, they look like you guys had some good times.
We did. We had some great times. So we hope to keep that alive. So Vegas people, if you hear me, we got to keep that alive. If you need a tutorial, we'll show you how it's done.
You gonna take the RV to Vegas too?
Oh, sadly, it went bye-bye. Sadly. I know.
On one of the last episode, we had to give it a jump.
Yeah. It barely made it out of the Coliseum. The very last episode, you'll see it in there. The Big G RV, La Familia tailgaters. I think the keg. We have the little wine keg in our garage, right? The little wine keg from the RV that they stripped and said, "Hey, this might be worth something." We're gonna. I think Todd from our tailgate took all the beer taps and everything out of it, like right there in the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it's been retired.
To a good cause.
It was, it's had its day. I used to dance on the rooftop, and I was trying to dance gingerly year by year. I'm like, okay, be careful where you step, because I might have ended up like through it. And I think they're at the end of the season. The end of the last season. They're like, I think you're.
He brought that RV through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Whether it had wipers and it was raining or putting out the exhaust, it was good times.
Yes, thank him for that. What does this mean, Sarah? He did make that. Oh, scrollable.
No, Skrilla, girl. Money?
Skrillable?
No.
What?
Scrollable.
Scrollable.
To scroll up and down, right? That's how I read it.
Moon thinks she means it's.
Oh, she put
Skrilla.
Oh, it says Skrilla underneath.
There's an asterisk. Okay, got you.
Lord help
got you. Okay, I didn't see. All right. That's what I got you for, Mother Moon. That's what I got you for. You gotta keep things in check. All right, Nevada Nick. Well, I think that's our show for tonight. We went a little long because we were having so much fun chatting, and thanks for doing this kind of, sporadic show.
No problem.
We appreciate it. And like I said earlier, we will be doing a show this Sunday, For Life special from home, live with virtual special guest at 10 a.m. Pacific time, starting, ending TBD. Nevada Nick will be there. We have some cool guests lined up. We have Screamin' Family. We have Jason Dean. Obviously, Nevada Nick, I said. I think we have some of the Silver and Black Empire that's going to chime in. Some of the Cuban squad from out there who might be broadcasting from some cool cigar lounge or something like that. I'm not sure.
Nice.
It's not really planned. So it's basically like I told a couple people, we're going to have a show. We're going to BS. And a couple people wanted to jump on, and we're happy to have them.
So it's a kind of a free-for-all, huh?
Kind of is. Kind of is. So, yeah, thank you for joining, Nevada Nick. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I'll see you next time.
I'll see you guys Sunday.
I'm gonna let you go because we only go out one way, but I won't make you do it.
Thank God. See you guys.
Nevada Nick. Bye. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us so much. I had I love Nevada Nick, but he hasn't fully become Raiders fan quite yet. So before we say this, we wanted to say goodbye to him. So thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. We really appreciate you. Remember to check out both of our shows this Saturday and this Sunday. We will be live 11 o'clock on Saturday, 10 o'clock on Sunday. Mother Moon, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right, everybody, because we go out one way and only one way. Raiders!
Our story. Yes, I represent the nation. Our story. Yes, I represent that nation. Our story. Raider Nation, our story. That's right. And I'm with Spicy Girl and that Mother Moon. La Familia. Mighty Thor and a Quiet Q. Super Hood. Omar. On the grill. And the B-Lot. 3 amigos. 4 brothers. Mr. Nicely Seasoned. What's the mariachis without Senior Raider? Representing just like the beginning Oakland Raider. Darlene and the Raider home. What about Little Chucky Gruded, my boss. Black Eyes. We're tailgaters. And it began on an autumn day, right here in the OAK. California dreaming in that golden state. Alameda County right here in the Bay. And you could find me on that east side, yo, representing that east side, oh. But no matter what, we represent the shield, just like Anna in the band club Emeryville. Dedicated to the nation. Our story, our story. Dedicated to the nation. Our story, our story. Dedicated to the nation. Our story, our story. Raider Nation. Our story, our story. Yo, representing silver and the black, Mr. Matter of Fact, yo, is here. Without showing any pity, from Oakland to Los Angeles to Vegas, all the way to Mexico City. And I represent that nation. Our story, our story. Yes, I represent the nation. Our story, our story. Yes, I represent that nation. Our story. Raider Nation, our story. Right. Yo, this is my story and I represent it with the pride and the poise. Commitment to that excellence I represent with noise. This is how I do it, the silver and the black. And I come into the track and I represent it, matter of fact. And I'm cruising around with Hollywood Raider all around the town. And I just found out Raider Savage on the interstate. Raider de la Baja, yeah, orale. So get over here, cause we representing now. And that I don't win as a pirate. The I don't win as a breeze. The I don't win as a race. Dedicated to the nation. Our story, our story. Dedicated to the nation. Our story, our story. Dedicated to the nation. Our story, our story. Raider Nation. Our story, our story. Yo, representing silver and the black, Mr. Matter of Fact, yo, is here. Without showing any pity, from Oakland to Los Angeles to Vegas, all the way to Mexico City. And I represent that nation. Our story. Yes, I represent the nation. Our story. Yes, I represent that nation. Our story. Raider Nation. That's right, Mr. Matter of Fact is here.